I believe, of NFL starting here in about 2.5 hours. Just kind of going through the slate. This is kind of, as much as it is for you guys, it's very beneficial for me and Ethan just to talk through the slate here. Kind of figure out what we got, what we like, pick each other's brains, see the best bets out there. And to be quite honest, after yesterday, I'm a little defeated. I think went down like maybe 2 or 3 units yesterday. It was a battle. Thank God my night plays in college football hit. I know me and you were both on the late slate last night. And that did go beneficial for both of us. But yeah, I don't love this NFL slate we got here. It doesn't make it any better that Detroit doesn't play until tomorrow. So at least we'll have that tomorrow. But it doesn't feel the same without Detroit playing today. But yeah, we as always, just kind of go through the slate here, talk through some games, and yeah, figure it out from here. I have locked in a couple bets. I believe I have 3 bets locked in on the spreads or money lines, and then I do have a teaser out there. But trying to add maybe a couple more plays, and if not, I'll probably dive into the player prop field, which is usually just straight emotion picking for me. But Ethan, welcome. I know it is a Sunday morning. Me and you, I think, both had a little too much last night. I had a bunch of issues last night, actually. Not to tell my life story here, but I should have told you this before the show. We have a a unit parking lot, and I don't have a sticker, so I moved my car like at 2 a.m. last night and reparked it, whatever, got out of the car, and there's like a hissing sound. Front tire absolutely ripped in half, ran over like a piece of glass or something, just like a 4-inch cut in it, completely flat now. So I have to change that at some point today. It's just downpour raining out there. So, and then I woke back up at 4 a.m. puking. I think because of some, I blame the pizza. I didn't have that much to drink to be blaming the alcohol, but yeah, so it was a beautiful morning this morning. But thank God our night picks hit. But Ethan, welcome. How are you feeling? How confident or bad are you feeling about today's slate?
Yeah, I thought I was going to be feeling the worst on this show today because I am not doing too hot. Anytime Alabama scores a lot of points and has a nice win, usually is a rough morning the next day. So, yeah, I was hanging out with my Alabama friends. Obviously, we do a fireball shot every time they score, so the first quarter was pretty electric. But yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm hurting a little bit, but bets didn't end up being too bad. Like you said, the 2 nightcaps that we liked, Boise State and Arizona, both hit. Arizona outright. Kind of wish I would have sprinkled that. I could have seen that coming, but yeah, went down. I don't know, just under a unit, I think, in college football, so it wasn't that bad. I did forget to tweet out one play, which did end up hitting. It was Jalen Milroe to score. He had the first touchdown, so that did help because the 7:30 slate was pretty rough outside of that. I bet all the UFC fights. I think I came out down a little bit in that. Did get the White Sox. White Sox was an easy winner. Nice plus money. So baseball still good. But yeah, not feeling great about today. I think I shouldn't even say this, but I think it'll be a winning day. It's just I'm not gonna have a ton of plays. So I'm kind of confident in what I'll be betting. But yeah, just don't love much.
Yeah. Again, yesterday was a little frustrating. It seemed like a lot of the public, a lot of the obvious plays hit last night or yesterday. And as you know from following any bit of time, what me and Ethan do, we like taking usually the ugly pick, the not so obvious pick. And that just didn't work. Obviously, last night, Penn State with a massive cover of 18-point spread. I think won by a touchdown. Had like 4 or 5 missed field goals on that. BYU could not get it done, even though they tried late in the game. Alabama won as the home dog, which everyone loved in that game. So just a lot of other obvious plays hit, which did hurt me quite a bit. Yes, thank you. Colorado destroyed UCF, I think, by like 28 points, something like that. It was just frustrating. It was frustrating. Thankfully, UNLV won. So F you to Matt Sluka. That's the reason you're not getting paid $100,000 because you're replaceable. And they didn't even just win; they won 59-14. So if you ever, God, I can go on a rant with there. But if you ever, God, my hair is all over the place. If you ever want money, then your team just does that. That's just the best thing in the world for me. I loved watching his because he was rooting for his team to get destroyed. He
Oh
was
yeah.
doing that, and they won with ease. It wasn't even closer. Their other quarterback had 3 touchdowns in the first quarter, like 200 rushing yards as well. So, absolute joke over there. For Matt Sluka. But yeah, let's get into the slate today. Again, I do have 4 plays out. I know me and Ethan actually, without talking, maybe you talked about it on our intentional lounging show, but are both on the same teaser. I don't remember you talking about it, but I placed it last night, and it was just bright in my day seeing Ethan's tweet this morning on the same exact teaser without us even talking. So we'll just get into that one real quick since that is a common play. I think they're both 1 p.m. games too. The lines might be a little bit different between me and him. I don't remember quite what you got them at, but I have the Jets at -2, and I have the Colts at +8.5. In a teaser, my bookie offered that one at -110. I'm not sure if your odds are similar, but that is a teaser that we're both on for the 1 p.m. slate. Again, that is the Jets -2, and then the Colts +8.5. I feel like the Jets easily get it done. I still like the Jets on the spread, honestly, at 7.5. And then the Colts, that's going to be a tougher game. It's going to be an ugly game, but I think it's honestly a coin flip. And 8.5 points for me seems a little high for to give up to a Pittsburgh team that can't score. So that's my teaser and Ethan's teaser. Kind of like it a lot. Only again for me, it just designated a unit for it, but I like it quite a bit. Might try to add another teaser or something today because again, I'm just not loving the slate. But do you have anything to talk about the teaser or any lines or odds that differ on your entry?
Yeah, mine's the exact same. Colts +8.5, Jets -2, -110. Also on my bookie, which still offers the -110 line. So most people who are using the sports books, the DraftKings, the FanDuel, you got to shop on the teasers because I forgot one of them. They absolutely, I shouldn't say the word that's in my head, but they take advantage of you with the lines. I think FanDuel has like a -140 for a 6 point teaser. It's ridiculous. Don't even worry about placing it because you'll never win taking -140 on those. So you got to find -120 at the worst. Try to get, I know -115s are out there. I don't think any sports book has -110 regulated sports book, but yeah, don't take it if it's above -120. But yeah, same thing. Love it. I will be adding another unit to the Colts. I'm hoping to get a +3 by kickoff for them. I know Pittsburgh's pretty public. Also like the Jets on their spread. Not sure if I'll mess with that one anymore. Just leave it at the teaser. But yeah, I do like the teaser quite a bit.
Yeah. You like the Colts at the 2.5 or trying to get them at 3?
I think they win.
Okay. Okay. I might add that one. Again, we just talked about both those games. Feel free in the comments if we missed a game or if you want to jump to a game, just let us know and we can jump to that. Or if you have fantasy questions, let us know as well. Bengals and the Panthers. This is also at 1 p.m. today. I have the Bengals locked in at -4.5. I think I took this like on Tuesday. Obviously, a couple different stories here. Bengals are 0-3. Panthers got their first win last week with Andy Dalton looking phenomenal. But they did beat a Raiders team in a very bad spot. So I'm on the Bengals. I think they finally get their first win. I know me and you kind of like fading the backup quarterback in his second start. I'm not going to give that as much of a system as I normally do, just because it is Andy Dalton and he is a veteran in the league. It'd be different if it was like a Huntley or a Skylar Thompson making their second starts, or a Malik Willis, even though he won in his second start. But I'm not going to give that as much backing as I normally do, but I still like it. I have the Bengals locked in. I finally think they get their first win. And I just think it's kind of a bad spot for Carolina. How about you?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I just don't know if I can lock it in. I mean, since he's the most public bet of the week, which always scares me. I mean, they hit, and I think this one will hit, but it just always scares me. I think Fox tweeted out too that a sharp play of the day is Carolina +4.5. So I'm just scared off of it. But I said it in intentional lounging. I mean, this is as low as you'll be able to buy on Cincinnati. I think I'm almost positive it's as high as you can sell Carolina. They're not going to they're going to win a few more games, but they're never going to be like in playoff contention or to win the division or anything of that nature. So off the first win, looking as good as they did, I just so bad want to sell Carolina, but yeah, I don't know if I can get there.
Yeah. Great piece on the most public bets. I just actually pulled up the tweet because I haven't looked at it this morning. This is from John Ewing. Again, two guys we love following. I don't know how much help it is, but I love looking at these betting percentages. Sometimes the books don't show you them, especially like the MGMs or the FanDuels. I know DraftKings gives you guys the betting percentages, but it's just nice seeing the data. And again, I don't know how helpful it is, but I'm pretty locked in on it. Again, John Ewing on Twitter, as well as Ben Fox are two guys that give some good data. So he just tweeted out 26 minutes ago. 60% of the bets, teams getting 60% of the bets this week. And again, these, I think the against the spread record for that is like disgusting. I think they're not hitting well. But anyways, yeah, like you said, Bengals are the heaviest favorite percentage of bets on BetMGM, getting 81% of the bets. Then we have the Steelers at 78, Lions at 71, Rams, Browns, Bills, Saints, Eagles. So just keep those two teams in mind. Again, I'm not saying they're not going to hit. Again, I am on the Bengals, which does scare me because they are the most publicly bet team according to MGM. But usually, at least from my experience and the NFL this year, it's usually a good idea to be cautious taking those heavy favorites. Again, I'm going against that, taking the Bengals, but I do think the Bengals get it done. It's a great spot for Cincy to finally get their first win against a Carolina team that may think they're a little better, when in reality they're still the worst team in the league. Again, we just talked about the Colts. We have them in a teaser. Ethan likes them outright, but the +3 is what we're waiting for. A big NFC North matchup here. Vikings, Packers. Packers are a 2.5-point favorite. I don't know what to do here. I kind of want to take Green Bay. I kind of want to hammer Green Bay, but I don't know if I'm going to do that. Also, John just tweeted most publicly bet underdogs to win outright: Vikings, Saints, Bills. And that brings us to the Vikings Packers game. But yeah, I mean, I want to take the Packers. Still think I may. It's also a great revenge game. Aaron Jones for the Vikings against his old team, Green Bay. So maybe that's a good storyline you can, if you want to bet on it for a Viking player prop. But yeah, what do you got in this one?
Yeah, so I gave out Vikings on the show, unintentional lounging. I don't think I'm going to bet this game, but if this gets you to the window, this is kind of my gut play of the day. I told you yesterday my gut play was North Carolina. I ended up getting involved on North Carolina, which that one was lucky. I mean, kind of lucky. I took the +1.5. I was so close to taking money line. I was like, just in case. So I was really happy that finally one of those worked out for me. But yeah, I think Green Bay is just my fear on it is I just never like playing on that quarterback in his first start back. I just think you lose some value on the line. But yeah, I mean, Minnesota has to be a little bit overrated at this point. They're really good. But are they like, I mean, I saw Colin Coward has them like third in his power rankings. Like they're not that good. So I don't know. It's a game I'll probably stay away from. Yeah, I don't know if I really like it in prop aspects or really anything.
Yeah,
Side total.
I probably should stay away. And again, I'm not in love with the slate this week. So the more I should probably not have a big board. I'm getting a little greedy because I did go down a little bit yesterday. I like trying to like either go up. Obviously, everyone wants to go up, or have like an even weekend. So I did go down a little bit. So I do want to get those back. But yeah, I mean, I have a ridiculous $4 to win $14,000 touchdown scoring prop, and I do have Aaron Jones in that one simply for the revenge factor. We are one leg out of the 8 with Rico on Thursday night. But yeah, Aaron Jones, nice. I have the score in that game. Again, it's a stupid parlay, but it's keeping me alive, or keeping my thoughts positive. Yeah, so don't have a great feeling about that either. I agree. I hate playing on Jordan Love with his first game back. I think that overly affects the line for sure. And Minnesota, like you said, I think they're actually pretty good. I think the difference between Minnesota this year and so many years before is they had no expectations heading into this year. Like last year, they were like one of the best teams in the league record wise, but they haven't played anyone. And we're like, oh, Minnesota is a massive fraud team. But this year, I mean, they just beat the Niners. I know Niners had their injuries. They're undefeated. I just think the biggest thing is they had no expectations. But yeah, I don't love that game. I shouldn't bet it. So I most likely will stay away unless I am super convinced by something I see from a buddy or tweet or something to make me bet that game. That brings us to, and this line has moved a lot, rightfully so, because the original open, or what we talked about at least on Thursday, was much higher. We have the Jags at the Texans. Jags are a 5.5-point dog now. Over unders 44.5. Jags were 7 points. Everyone jumped on the Jags. Obviously, the Jags are they defeated? Yeah, they're defeated. They just got spanked by the Bills on Sunday night or Monday night. Everyone was jumping on the +7, and now it's moved to +5.5 because that was a big number. Texans also lost last week, so that was just a shocking line. At this point, I'm kind of leaning Houston now, but yeah, again, I don't love this game at all enough to bet it. I don't think Jacksonville is a. I mean, I know people are going to be jumping on those teasers, especially when it was at the 7. But I mean, we just saw Jacksonville get absolutely blown out by. I don't trust Jacksonville at all. So I don't want to bet this game unless you have a solid lean. I am probably going to stay away.
Yeah. I think the Jags went outright. As gross as that is. I don't know if I can bet it.
Okay.
But the way I might approach it, I bet preseason just 1 unit on the Texans under 9.5 wins. Thinking that maybe they would win a few early and that would go up to 10.5, which I actually don't know what it's at right now. Let me check. I might just throw another unit on their under win total and then kind of play that as my play on this week. And then if they win this week, it's still a live ticket. It's not going to lose just based off this week. But if they lose, it definitely helps, Let me see what they're sitting at. Yeah, I kind of like the Jags. I just don't know if I can get back on them. I mean, that was so ugly on Monday. But no one can get back on them, which makes them probably the play. So maybe I should. I don't know. Yeah, 10.5 minus 130. Yeah, I'm going to get another unit down on Houston under 10.5 wins.
Okay.
And I might play the Jags. We do like those dogs at 5.5.
Hey, that is true. We do like them. I like that much better when they were 7, though.
Yeah, me too.
Quickly on action here. I'm on action. I'm also on Pickett, but action I track all my bookie plays. But I like, it gives you the follow request or the follow, the top guys to follow. So I just like click all the top NFL guys. Just some crazy amount of guys on each of these teams. And I just wanted to point out here. I know we kind of already talked about these teams. 11 people are on Indiana spread compared to 1 person on Pittsburgh. 17 people are on the Jags spread compared to 2 people on the Texans. There's another big one on here. 10 people on the Falcons compared to 1 on the Saints.
I do like that too.
And I thought there was one other big one. There's also 14 people on the Cowboys compared to 6 on the Giants. So keep that, or just shows you that it's not always a guaranteed winner. But yeah, I don't want to bet this game, but it might be the Jags now. I mean, I'm just so flip floppy. I have no confidence with this slate at the moment. Let's just talk with the Saints Falcons here. I just mentioned a lot of people on the Falcons. A couple of the people I follow on the Falcons. I think on the show I gave out the Saints, but I hate it. You like Atlanta?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a reason?
Just a gut feeling.
I love it.
Really. But kind of mentioned too on the show, I believe, I just have so much trust in Kirk. Like I just feel like off a loss, there's really no better guy that you would want in that locker room. I think he just stays so positive, and I don't know. They do have the short week coming up here, but I'll be on the Falcons.
Okay.
I think also I don't know if I mentioned, but I know I mentioned it might have been this game where Atlanta was a 10.5 win team preseason. Saints were a 7.5 win team for the win totals, and I just think there's still some bias out there on the Saints from the first 2 weeks, but I really don't think they're that good. I have a big play on there under 7.5 wins, which I still think has a shot to get there.
Yeah, that was a big loss last week for you, for the Saints. And
Yeah,
you had the Eagles too, right, to win that East.
to win the division. Yeah,
So that was a double winner for you.
yeah.
Best
I needed
case,
that.
best case Ontario there. Um, okay, so I have written down potentially Atlanta. That's what, and you like the Jags. Did you have a feel on that? I forgot already. Did you have a feel on that Vikings Packers, or did you just kind of stay
Um,
away?
my gut tells me the Packers are probably going to win it,
Okay,
but I'm not betting that one. I think I'm gonna
okay,
unfortunately bet the Falcons and maybe the Jags.
okay. I'm just jotting down some notes for as soon as we get off here to help me make up my mind. Another tough one. God, I hate both these teams right now. That is the Eagles and the Bucks. Eagles are a 1 point favorite. Over under 42. This line was 2.5 points on Wednesday when we recorded our intentional lounging show. Um, God, I don't. I mean, I just don't even. I couldn't even tell you anything of substance about this game and what to pick. I want to fade Philly until I die. Tampa Bay, they lost last week, right? Bad to Denver.
Yeah, to Denver.
Lions moving a little bit in their favor here. I mean, I would. I don't know, man. I would lean Tampa, but I don't really want to bet. Like these aren't bettable games for me right now. Like we said, in
I
this
know.
headspace, I'm struggling. I would lean Tampa. I don't know if I can get there.
I unfortunately, I like the Eagles and I kind of like them a lot, but I think I might just ride this one as just needing the win for the division ticket that I have. That is a 5 unit play, so that is my biggest future out there. But multiple reasons why I like Philly. Um, they do have their bye week on deck, and I know most people think the week after the bye is like the play on situation. It's really the week before the bye is better to play on the team rather than the week after. It is the playoff revenge. Tampa knocked Philly out of the playoffs last season, and Tampa has a divisional Thursday night game, road game on deck. Short week that they're probably looking ahead to a little bit. Um, yeah, I like Philly for all those reasons. I kind of like the over too. Philly's
40,
defense is not great. Uh,
42 seems low.
Low, so low.
That's very odd.
Tampa still has a lot of injuries on their defense. I think Vita Vea is still out. I think Antoine Winfield is still out.
Yeah.
Um,
Both Godwin and Mike have been ruled in
okay.
for Tampa's offense, but God, this is just a tricky slate this week, guys. I'm sorry we're not coming down with our normal amount of confidence here, but it's just like, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just looking at DraftKings here. 60, obviously, everyone's on the over on DraftKings. Every single bet you look at, 65% on the
Right.
over. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know why it wouldn't be the over. I mean, 42 points, and the Eagles' defense has been atrocious. Um,
Yeah.
and Tampa Bay can score with just about anyone. At least the first 2 weeks of the year looked terrible last week, but um,
They allowed 26 points to Bo Nix.
which is in now it's like the well, my grandparents made $20,000 back then, but in today's terms, that's like 100 grand.
Right.
Scoring, giving up 26 points to Bo Nix is like in today's a normal game is like giving up 50. So
Yeah.
yeah, God, I'm trying to look at action real quick to see the splits on that. I like that quite a bit. I'm jotting it down. It's giving it's like a swirlies hyphen. I don't know what that character is called on the keyboard, but that is the over of Philly and Atlanta. Or sorry, Philly and Tampa. Over 42. Writing it down, jotting it down in the notes. We do tweet out all of our official plays if you do want to follow us on Twitter. But right now it's kind of a building process. We have 2 hours to kick off. Just kind of jotting down some notes. Again, I have locked in a couple plays, but yeah, we're kind of jotting down. Again, I see some guys here. If you guys do have games you want us to jump to, please let us know. If you have questions about fantasy, let us know. If you have opinions or picks, we're always eager to hear your guys' thoughts because, as you can tell, I, for myself, am absolutely clueless at the moment. Little foggy brain due to multiple reasons. But yeah, I have that over jot down. I like that. I like that. I'm a sucker for a good over, too.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I'll get involved in that game. I think I won't. I'm already pushing it with getting involved in Atlanta and the Jags. Yeah, I'm gonna probably leave that game alone.
Okay.
But I like it. I like Philly. I like over.
One of the games that I actually have a good read on, I actually have a bet that I feel fairly confident. It's gross, but again, sometimes the gross plays are the best plays. We have the Rams and the Bears. Bears are a 3-point favorite. Over under set at 40. I'm all in on the Bears, and I hate it because I think this Bears team is bad. I think Caleb Williams. First of all, I'm just not a big Caleb Williams guy. But I have the Bears locked in. I love them. Well, I hate them so much that I love them. This line has not moved at all week. Originally it opened at 3, and that was kind of surprising to me at least. Especially with the Rams just beating the Niners. The Bears win last week. They lost last week, didn't they?
They lost to the Colts.
Lost to the Colts. Like, what is this line? There might be some injuries. Obviously, there's a lot of injuries over in LA, but the line kind of says it all to me. So I've locked in Chicago. I'm seeing on action right here, 23% of the bets coming in on Chicago. Line opened at 1.5. It's down to 3 now. Everything's pointing to the Bears. I've locked in the Bears. Quickly over here on DraftKings, 70% on the Rams at the +3. I love the Bears. I never tease 3-point spreads because I hate it. Going from -3 to +3 is just not worth it to me. But I love the Bears. Bears money line would be a great parlay leg in my opinion. It's disgusting to trust this team, but I think Chicago gets it done.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite play on the board is Chicago. I'm looking right now because I've not locked it in. Do I lay the 3 or do I just take the money line?
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's any what DraftKings boosts are today. I think I'm taking advantage of most of them early in the week.
Seeing Sports Illustrated Sportsbook has the money line -154. And I kind of like that more than 3. Having to win by 3. Let's see.
Yeah, I definitely might pair their money line in some sort of prop or parlay here.
I had a risk-free $10 bet, so nothing crazy by any means, but on MGM that was expiring in like a couple of minutes, so this was earlier in the week. I did throw in a 3-team money line parlay: Bears, Colts, and Lions. I feel pretty good about that. I got it at like +410 or something like that. So I guess I do have some action on that. I'm gonna lock in the Bears. I think I'm gonna take this minus. What the fuck, dude? Do you have Sports Illustrated Sportsbook?
I don't.
Yeah, you should.
I do, but I don't think I've ever used it.
Look at this bullshit. -154, if you can see that.
Yeah.
I click it. -158.
Cowards.
Like what?
Yeah, I like the Bears though. I like that. And again, it's gross, but the line says it all. Granted, I thought the line said it all yesterday with Penn State. Thought the line said it all yesterday with Baylor. Thought the line said it all yesterday with UCF. But yeah, sometimes the obvious play wins, but more often than not, I know me and you do have some success taking some games that just don't seem quite right. So if it feels too good to be true, it's my saying. It usually is. So I like the Bears. I have them -3. Could potentially get more involved on the money line because again, I just don't feel great about this slate, but I do feel good about that game. It's probably my favorite, at least in the early slate. I love the Sunday night game, by the way. It might get pretty crazy tonight, but we'll get into that as we approach it. We have 4 games at the 4 p.m. slate. Washington and Arizona, New England, San Fran, Kansas City, and the Chargers, and then Browns, Raiders. We'll start with the Commies and the Cardinals. Cardinals are now a 3.5 point favorite. That's moved since Friday from a 3 point favorite. The over under has dropped a point and a half since our Wednesday recording. That's at 50 and a half. It's now at 49. I know we both kind of like the over in that, and it's gone down a point and a half, which is a little concerning. Do you have a read on this at all?
Yeah, honestly, this is one of the games I'm looking forward to the most. It's because I love the over, so I think it's going to be high scoring. Um, as you know, I don't bet many overs, so when I do, it's always kind of fun. Um, yeah, I hope Arizona wins. I think Arizona will win and cover, but I'm actually more nervous about Washington to take that division from Philly than I am Dallas right now. So,
Wow. Okay.
and I'm actually I mean, Dallas's win was pretty big on Thursday, but I'm actually kind of equally as nervous for New York and Dallas combined. Um, or yeah, I think New York is a lot better than what people think. I think they'll make you money if you back them somewhat consistently. So I'm looking to play on the Giants quite a bit, but yeah, I think Washington is the team that scares me the most there. So I do hope Arizona wins. I actually might go look at Arizona's win total and bet that over. I liked it 7.5 preseason, but it was juiced like minus 150, so I never got involved. But now sitting at 1-2, it might be. I'm gonna look at that. But yeah, love the over in that game for sure.
Okay. I gave it a swiggly hyphen. Do you know what that term's called on the keyboard? Like the almost like the like it's like in math, like sometimes equal. You know that
Yeah,
little
yeah, I know what you mean.
I don't know what it's called.
Yeah,
Anyways, I have that at the over. So I like that quite a bit. Again, it's dropped a point and a half, which is a little concerning. But again, I just think this is I think maybe people are jumping on it was a one and done type of game last week for the commies. Like maybe that's why they don't think their offense is going. I honestly think I might be starting Scary Terry again. Arizona's defense is not good. Detroit
yeah.
should have put up close to 40 points in that game. Did not score in the second half last week. And the Commanders, again, I've said it every single week. They finally scored touchdowns last week, but the week before they had 7 field goals. That means they had 7 trips, and I know kickers are kicking a ridiculous length. I don't think too many of his kicks were, above 50 yards. So they had, I'll call it at least 5 trips to the 30-yard line of the opposing team and still scored 21 points without scoring a touchdown. So this team can move the ball. They're just young, inexperienced. But we saw them last week kind of start to click. Jaden Daniels obviously throwing his first pass, NFL touchdown pass. He had 2 of them, was hitting deep balls to Scary Terry multiple times. Brian Robinson Jr. is a beast. I love the over in this. I'm a little nervous that is dropping, but I still think this might be a play that I take regardless of what the bets are doing. And that could bite me in the ass because I usually don't do that. But yeah,
For reference on those field goals, it's even better than probably what you're even thinking. 27, 45, 26, 27, 29, 33, and 30. So
so
that
that's at
was
least 6 trips to the red zone.
6 red zone trips.
Yeah, and again,
And I'll say it again. I think the Giants are kind of legit. I think their defense is good.
yeah, very good. Thibodeau's a beast.
Yeah.
Um,
Dexter Lawrence, I think. No. Is that who I'm thinking of?
I don't know.
Big defensive tackle.
I think they have a Dory Jackson corner. I think still.
Yeah.
Um,
They got Brian Burns from Carolina.
yeah. Yeah, I like that over though. I like that over.
Yeah,
I have a
Dexter
couple
Lawrence.
fantasy questions once we quickly finish these games to talk through to you, but one of them is regarding Scary Terry and that commies team. New England and San Fran. San Fran is let me double check. I believe they're a 10 and a half point favorite. It's been like that all week. Over under 41 and a half. I mean, San Fran's going to win this. I think it's going to be an ugly, ugly game. Kind of want to take them on the 10 and a half just for how bad heavy favorites have done, but I don't think I can do that. I know Debo's back, Kittle's back, kind of like the under, but I mean, if all else comes to fail in the early slate, I'll probably just take George or Mason to score, which is his first name. Um,
Jordan.
Jordan Mason to score because that's free money. But yeah, I want to take San Fran at the massive spread, but I don't know if I'm going to do it. It's probably just a stay away game in general. I think it's going to be sloppy, ugly. You probably won't see it much on red zone. Yeah. I think their Patriots are going to get rolled.
Yeah. That's a complete stay away game for me.
Yeah.
It would have to be the Mason touchdown, would probably be my best bet too. But just quick circling back to the cards, it is over 7.5 wins now, minus 110. So
okay,
I might take that. I think if they win today, that's 2. You only need 6 more. They still have games against home game against the Chargers, the Dolphins, the Bears, Patriots, Panthers. Yeah, I kind of like that.
Yeah, don't hate it. I mean, when Kyler's healthy, for as much as we make fun of him, he's still he's a pretty scary quarterback. Especially with what he can do on his legs. He's a decent passer. So if he stays healthy, they're not bad. Yeah, I don't hate it. I would say maybe my second favorite game that I have a read on. I haven't placed anything yet because I think this is going to be a wait until kickoff and then hammer it. Kansas City at the Chargers. This spread, I believe, is 7.5, right around there. This was again at 8. It was at 8 on Wednesday. Kind of love the Chargers. Kind of love the Chargers in this game. I believe Burrow's playing, but don't quote me. He is banged up, has an ankle issue. But yeah, I mean, Kansas City 3-0. We were against them last week, did not pan out. But I think I'm going to go against them again. I don't think the Chargers could win, but it wouldn't be surprised if they do. I know Kansas City has a great record in between their divisions here, or in their division here. But yeah, I like the Chargers in the points. I don't think a whole lot of people are going to be taking that. So I'm probably going to lock in that right before kickoff, trying to get back up to that 8, at least a 7.5. I'm seeing 7 on DraftKings. So try to at least get the 7.5. But yeah, I'm probably going to lock in the Chargers.
Yeah, I like the Chargers. Herbert is playing. The concern here is both tackles are out, Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt, and defensively Joey Bosa is out, and Derwin James is facing that suspension. So those are some big names. I'd rather have those guys in and Herbert out any day of the week. But yeah, it's so many points. I mean, I got scared off of taking Cincinnati week 2, plus the points against the Chiefs, and yeah, I can't leave the Chargers off. It's just way too many points for this game, I think.
Yeah, and I know people are too easy to jump on Kansas City if the starting quarterback's out. Not a whole lot of people, hopefully they know who Derwin James is. But sometimes, if you don't know an offensive tackle's name, whatever, the line doesn't get adjusted that much. But yeah, I still like LA even with the injuries. So I'm gonna wait. Hopefully, again, trying to get that 7.5, 8 before kickoff here. And if it goes down, I'll probably still bet it because I do think it's the right side. And Kansas City just doesn't. I know they're 3-0. They're the talk of the town. I still just think they're a little overrated. I don't think they're. I mean, they easily could be 0-3. Let's be real. Like they could easily not have a win this year, and I think they're getting overhyped for really no reason. So I know they've had a tough go at it, but yeah, I like LA. I think they potentially might have a chance to win it at the end.
I do too. Another future, another win total. Kansas City is set at 13.5 right now, which hammer the under. I mean, I took under 11.5. I still think that has some legs. They still have all 6 divisional games, which they don't sweep that division. They'll lose 1 or 2 of those. They're at San Francisco in a Super Bowl rematch. They have to play Tampa. They're at Buffalo, at Cleveland. They have to play the Texans. Yeah, I mean, they play the Steelers late on Christmas Day where they could be resting. I mean, I doubt they'll rest players on Christmas, but that's in Pittsburgh. Last game is on the road against Denver. They might rest guys. So, yeah, 13.5. I mean, for a team that could already have those 3 losses, they only need 3 losses on the year. Give me the under on Kansas City win total.
Yeah, I love that. I don't really want to talk about this game, but it's a game on here. And again, for those in here, if there's a game you want us to jump to, or if there's a bet you want us to talk about, please just let us know in the chat. But we have our final 4 p.m. slate game here: the Browns at the Raiders. Raiders are a home 2.5 point dog. Over under, I believe, is one of the lowest of the days at 37 points here. I believe there's no Crosby today. Um,
Correct.
and if the Raiders don't have Crosby, I don't want the Raiders. But I don't
Well,
really want to bet the Browns because that's too obvious. So I'm not going to bet this game unless you have a crazy, crazy way of motivating me to pick a side here.
I don't. There's injuries all over the board. Also, hand up, if this loses for our squad ride, that's on me. I kind of was the force behind this play. But so many injuries have come out since then. I wish we would have taken the Bears for that squad ride. But yeah, Crosby out, Devontae Adams out, and Michael Mayer out, which isn't a huge factor. But then for Cleveland, Njoku out, two offensive linemen, I think, Jedrick Wills and who else? Michigan State kid, Jack Conklin, are both out. I know. I think Miles Garrett is in, but he's still banged up, I think. So, yeah, this is kind of an ugly game. It's one that I really liked the Raiders in, but with Crosby out, with Devontae Adams out, I mean, that's their two key cogs on offense and defense. So, I'm going to stay away. But if it loses for our squad ride, that's on me. I wish we would have went with the Bears.
Yeah, and again, I should not have a bet in this game, but if I do, it's probably still going to be on Vegas. I mean, who's taking them in that game? Especially after a loss last week to the Panthers. Now with all the injuries, even at
Right.
plus 2.5, it seems a little obvious to jump on the Browns, who still suck. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't want to bet that, but hopefully the 1 p.m.
Teaser.
slate goes well. Could tease. That is correct. And then that brings us to the Monday night game. I love it. I'm all over Baltimore. Baltimore's home against Buffalo. I just messed around and got Baltimore money line. I got it at minus 135. Good enough value for me. Just a unit right now, but I think Baltimore honestly destroys them. Buffalo always has one or two games where they look absolutely disgusting. They had a massive win last week against Jacksonville where they didn't have to give any effort in a primetime game. The game was pretty much over after the first quarter. Baltimore getting their first win last week, I believe. Who did they play? God, who did they play?
Dallas.
Dallas. Big win, though, for Baltimore, but they pretty much destroyed Dallas for 3 quarters there, and Dallas came clawing back in the fourth. I think it's a great spot for Baltimore again to keep the momentum going. I think it's a spot for Buffalo that's they're a little too high on people's mind, and I think they might think they're a little better than they are. I think Baltimore finds a way to get after Josh Allen. I like the Ravens to win this one outright.
Yeah, I love the Ravens too. I also think it could be a blowout. I think it could be reverse of what we just saw Buffalo do to Jacksonville. Um, and yeah, it looks so easy to tease the Bills because everyone's probably been seeing Bills haven't lost by more than a touchdown in 47 consecutive games. I think the streak ends today. I think they lose this one by double digits. So I would be very cautious if you're looking at teasing the Bills. Really, when I'm looking at teasers, I want to go against a team that does not have blowout capability. Teasing the Raiders. I don't think the Browns are capable of blowing out a team necessarily. I mean, obviously they will once or twice, but they're just not built that way. The Ravens are definitely built to blow teams out of the water. So I would be very cautious if you're looking to tease the Bills up to 8.5, thinking they don't lose by more than a touchdown because I think they might.
Yeah, it's a bad spot for Buffalo. I think it's going to be a great spot for Baltimore. I know me and you are both high on Baltimore. I have a Super Bowl future on them, which, again, anything is still in question, even though they did start 0-2. Big win against Dallas. Baltimore is still a fantastic team. Yeah, I think they get going tonight. And Buffalo's defense, I know, looks okay on paper, but I still think they're very vulnerable. And I think Lamar and Zay and whatever tight end wants to go off, Derrick Henry are all going to have themselves quite the afternoon or quite the night tonight. So I love Baltimore. I'll probably be adding a couple more same game parlays in there just because it is the standalone Sunday night game. But yeah, I love Baltimore. It's probably my second or third favorite play. Again, my favorite's the Bears. Probably going to the Chargers. We'll go Baltimore after the Bears, and then Chargers would be my third favorite of the week or of the day today. But again, tricky slate that I'm desperately looking for more plays, but just I'm having a tough time finding them.
Yeah. Yeah, not a ton that I love, but definitely talked myself into a few on this show. So, um, yeah, I kind of slowly love the Falcons. But yeah,
Falcons.
Bears are my favorite. Bears are going to be, I'm only doing 2 units, but it's going to be a 2 unit play. I'm going to work my way back to getting up to 3, 4, 5 unit plays, unless something really jumps off the page. But yeah, I like the Bears. Yeah, I like Baltimore. I like Atlanta. Colts. Over. Commanders.
Over in the
Cardinals.
Commanders. Yeah. Again, we'll tweet out our plays shortly after this. We are going to wrap up sometime soon here, but I have a quick couple fantasy questions for you. I have a decently sized buy-in for this fantasy league, and I'm doing okay. But I got a tough wide receiver question here. I have Mike Evans and Debo are my normal two starters. Obviously, Debo has been injured. He's ruled that he's playing today, but he's also playing against the Patriots, who suck. I think that's going to be a blowout. Debo has a calf injury that was supposed to keep him out for like 3 to 4 weeks. He's back after one. I know it says he's playing. I'm nervous of starting him. So right now, I'm starting Scary Terry in his place, but I also have Jawan Jennings, Rashid Shaheed, and Addison.
I
I'm
think I'd
just
play Scary Terry.
okay. It's either for me, it's either going to be. I don't think I'm going to play Debo because I just don't think they're going to need him. I don't think they're going to want him to get hurt in a Patriots game.
Yep.
Um, so right now I have Scary Terry. I wouldn't be upset taking Juwan Jennings just because I do think he's still going to get a lot of catches. But again, it might be a blowout. And then Rashid Shaheed, I know if I start him, he's going to have 0, and if I bench him, he's going to have a 60-yard touchdown. It's just too big of a high risk, high reward type of player. And then Addison coming back from injury, I'm probably not going to start in a tough game against Green Bay. So I'm starting Scary. Uh, we'll see if it works, but yeah, I think I
Yeah. I'm I'm looking at playing really every commander or cardinal that I have this week. So I picked up Matt Prater in a few leagues where I had Jake Bates for Detroit, but like I said a couple times already, I think on the live and on intentional lounging, I think Lions are as under as it gets this year. So I had to get rid of him. Picked up Matt Prater. Zach Ertz I picked up in a few leagues. I think he could have a nice little day. Um, James Conner I have in a few leagues. So yeah, Jane Daniels I'm starting over Anthony Richardson in one of my leagues. So yeah, I'm all over that game for points. Player props, points, fantasy. I think they go off.
yeah, I hope Scary Terry does. I also, and again, I have to start Kamara just because he's the RB1, but he is injured with a hip and rib, but he's playing. I do have Brian Robinson on the bench though, so I could throw Brian in there. My running backs are low. This is it's a 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 2 flex league. So it's a little bit more, but my running backs are Bijan and Derek, and then my flexes are James Cook and Alvin Kamara, and then I have Brian Robinson on my bench. It's only an 8-man league, so the teams are a little more loaded than like a 10 or 12. But I
Damn.
mean, my running backs are absolutely disgusting. Wide receivers have been the death of me. But I'm a little nervous about Kamara, and I think Brian is going to have himself quite the day today.
Yeah.
But can I bench their running back 1?
Right.
And I don't think I'm going to do that.
Yeah, I think I'd stick with Kamara.
Even though we like the Falcons, I'm going to lock in those Falcons. God damn it, I love them.
Yeah, I am too.
I might put Brian Robinson in too. Damn it. Yeah. Again, for those joining, we did just go over the entire NFL slate today. We're leaving our Monday games. There's a doubleheader on Monday, including our Detroit Lions playing the Seahawks. Lions have, I believe, Ragnow just ruled out, as well as Brian Branch is potentially ruled out due to illness for the Lions. And then our tomorrow's puke in the mouth game of the week, the Titans and the Dolphins, is also a Monday night doubleheader. But we'll talk about those games. We have an episode coming out on intentional lounging on our page over here, as well as we will be live tomorrow ahead of tomorrow's game. So we'll leave Monday night's games for tomorrow, but I do like the Seahawks. We'll probably be on the Dolphins as well. But that's tomorrow's slate. Do you have anything to add here before we do post all our plays on Twitter. Sorry. I'll be posting those as soon as I finalize my slip once we get off here. Do you have anything else you want to talk about or any takes that you like or players or fantasy or anything?
Yeah, no, I think that kind of wraps it. Sorry, we're like you said, kind of clouded in the head today. Rough morning, but yeah, we'll tweet out all our plays, so stay tuned for those. I know I've added quite a few just by talking it over this morning.
Yeah. And again, we go live every single Monday. And then occasionally, Saturday morning lives, Sunday morning lives. Just it's kind of more for us just to talk through our thoughts and our bets. Sometimes it's beneficial, sometimes it's not. But yeah, we appreciate you guys, and we will see you tomorrow for the Monday night